So in this another video, another knowledge bite, we talk about early intervention and diabetes. We are going to discuss why early intervention is so important, not only for you personally, but also for this nation as a whole. Why early intervention in diabetes is so very important. So there's a lot to think and a lot to ponder over in this video. But before that, just to inform all of you, we are here, the Similia Classical Homeopathic Clinic. We are in Bombay and in Ahmedabad, and we run a integrated diabetes center with homeopathy as the main therapeutic modality. We have a qualified allopathic physician who deals with diabetes, and also a dietitian who will look into a lifestyle changes that we advise. So we join hands together, and this is one of the places where a multidisciplinary approach is the only way to tackle this hydra-headed monster called diabetes. So, coming to the topic for today, why early intervention is so important. We all know that in diabetes, the, the real cause is a combination of your genetic susceptibility and a faulty lifestyle. We have very little control over what we can inherit from our parents and from our ancestors, but we definitely have a big control over our lifestyle, about the way we live and the choices of lifestyle that we make. Only when these two things meet together can you give diabetes to someone. Either one of them missing, and the disease will not be visible, the disease will not be progressing, disease will not manifest in the individual. So, what do we mean by lifestyle? Essentially, lifestyle consists of three things. First thing is the food that we eat and the eating habits that we have cultivated and the eating habits that we follow on our daily basis. Second is the amount and the quality of physical activity that we do. And third is the quality, the quantity, and the pattern of sleep. Very, very important. So, when we talk about food habits, as I explained in my last video, the most effective and most sustainable change that can happen in your food habit is to shift to a low carbohydrate, plant based diet, eliminating every form of dairy and milk from your diet. It has found to be extremely effective in not only reversing the diabetes, but if it is started off early enough, we can even prevent complications and prevent the progression of this disease. The second is the level of exercise. What is the kind of exercise that we need to do? That is very important. We will find that people will, when they are diagnosed with diabetes, you will find that they are walking. They are walking for an hour, they are walking for 1.5 hours. But it is not as effective. What we need are exercises that will tone up our muscles. The only way to tone up our muscles, to increase our muscle strength, is to work against gravity. And then we need cardiovascular exercises. So, why start early? And what is early? So, first we'll figure out what is early enough. My personal recommendation of early enough is when you know you are at high risk to develop diabetes. When you are overweight, when you have a very strong family history, and when you know you indulge in a lot of processed food and have very irregular eating habits. If you can recognize this and start making a shift at this stage, the best time to intervene. If you miss this time out, the next best suitable, most effective time to develop a total and a completely sustainable reversal is the first time that you detect yourself with so-called borderline sugar. You've not developed into a frank diabetic. Your sugars have not gone into a range of frank diabetes, but they are above normal, what in technical terms is called impaired glucose tolerance. If you wake up, if we wake up at this point of time, we are going to reverse the disease completely for a very, very long time to come. And what is the advantage? The first and foremost advantage is if you have intervened early enough, like I said, when you are in impaired glucose tolerant situation or even a high risk situation, you might well possibly avoid the development and prevent the development of the disease completely. If that doesn't happen, early intervention will prevent development of complications of kidney disease, cardiovascular disease, neurological diseases, eye diseases. Remember, with diabetes, every single cell of your body is taking bath in glucose sugar, in glucose water. Every single cell of the body is prone to injury, prone to damage. And that is why the stress on early intervention. When you start your life, when you make these changes early, you have far better energy levels. Remember, diabetic patients experience a very clouded thought process. There is a very dull feeling in the mind when their sugars are elevated. Mind becomes more clearer, body is more energetic, and we've known patients who followed this change in lifestyle and in exercises, in fact, reverse the aging also. Because with every age, with every increase in sugar and sustained level, your body ages much faster. The rate of aging is much faster, which essentially I would translate into a single term called happiness. You'll remain more happy for a longer time and people around you will be happy. And lastly, it is far more cheaper to prevent diabetes than to treat diabetes at individual level and also at a level of the whole national economy. So this is the end of today's video. Once again, I stress, do not wait till your sugars go completely off the mark and go into a diabetic range. Moment you realize you are borderline, and if you are even more aware, if you know you're high risk, make the change today. Do not wait.